woman typically oversees the functioning of the family unit by ensuring that all domestic matters, including the welfare of the children, are catered to. On top of all this, she's also expected to keep a job, or she manages to keep a job or a business venture. Now the question we want to ask on the Amazons today: should part or all of her income be redirected to supporting the running of the family budget? This is the Amazons, and this is what we are going to be talking about here today. Lillian, my ever-present, ever-dependent, ever-beautiful co-anchor, is here. At what point should we begin to look, should the home begin to depend on the woman to begin to support the family?
It goes both ways. I'd also like to say that, money is power, money is emotion, money is security, and, this can cause a once romantic relationship to go sour. Now, with the recent tussles of feminism, a lot of people believe that couples should be able to split the bills 50-50. But a conventionalist would not consider a contribution any necessary, except, they ask or demand for it. This is to say that a woman should or should not contribute to the budget of the house.
In any case, we will leave that. We'll have our guests. They will join us and they will come and also tell us that their experiences. They are married. Their experiences of how, in these times, how do you still, manage to keep the home? How do you still manage to keep the all the demands, the financial demands on the home? How do you come together? Is it still, a man's responsibility 100% wholly? Or the woman, at what point she should come in to offer some help financially after the break.
This is it. You don't trust him. Be open about it. Communicate it. Tell him, darling, honey, whatever you call your husband, I have done this in the past. This is what we've been through. Please, I don't want to take this risk anymore. Perhaps, because I believe in marriage. You must learn to keep working at it.
True.
He failed you last year. He might not fail you this year.
Can the woman, on her own, still at her discretion, her decision, say, look, I would rather do this for the home for this month. Can you accept it?
Some women just want to be married because they want to be married. Some others want to build a home. So if you're focused to build a home, then I would say, please come all out.
Welcome back to the Amazons. Today we are discussing, really, should women contribute to the house running budget? We have a guest joining us in the house, Mamuzo Mokoro. Welcome to the Amazons. You've been married for 5 years. And what's been your own experience, and what's your own take on all of this?
Well, thank you first and foremost for having me. I'm glad to be here. It's quite an issue, it's quite a thing in families. You cannot have a family and not talk about how to manage your finances, because after all, we need money to feed, money to pay school fees, money to even move from place to place. So money is very essential to keep body and soul together, besides even just being married. Now, when two people come together in a union such as marriage, then of course it comes with a lot of demands and responsibilities. On the part of the woman, I understand that yes, she has a lot of roles to play. She's the homemaker, the home builder, she's the nurse, she's the teacher, she's the almost all of the things that has to do with the day-to-day run of the home falls, on her shoulders. And like you said, yes, yet I expect that she would at least contribute something, financially. Now, I want to look at it from this angle. I think that we should examine the focus of marriage in totality. So I would ask the woman, for instance, why are you in marriage? Some women just want to be married because they want to be married. Some others want to build a home. So if you're focused to build a home, then I would say, please come all out. Now, before I got married, I had to ask myself, how do I want to manage my finances in my marriage? And while my husband and I were cutting, we decided we were going to have a joint account. So we put all our monies together. And it wasn't about how much percentage each person brought into the account. It was giving our everything. And we said to ourselves, we're going to be married. I will see you as me and then me as you. And so when we have to make decisions as to who gets what or how to, or what to spend what on, it's not a matter of, oh, it's me or it's you. It's a matter of what is priority to us, and that's key.
In the case where a woman refuses or declines to contribute to the running budget of the home, I mean, what would you advise the man to do?
Okay, so let me say here that there are a lot of indices to also look out for. For instance, what kind of a man are you married to? You know, some men, I'm sorry, and some men and some women, just to strike a balance, are not worthy of trust. So are you married to someone who you can trust, even with your money? Is your husband a spendthrift? Or is he, you know, is it someone who can properly coordinate the finances of the home? And for me, you know, even when you decide to put your monies together, it has to be in the hands of the person who has better financial management prowess. Not just because it's the head of the home. It's about, it could be in the hands of the woman if she has better financial management skills. So you want to look at the fact, I mean, if the woman is declining, perhaps she has tried to, you know, give to the man, you know, in the past. It turned out wrong. Exactly. And so she's saying, please, I've had enough of it. I rather manage my money myself and maybe even use for my own needs. But I would also say this, you know, marriage comes with a lot of blessings, and children is one of the focal points for which, you know, we come together for marriage. If you have a child, you have to think about the future of your child, the examples you're setting before your children. Those things are very fundamental. So I would say this, first to the man who has a wife who has said, I will not make my financial contributions. Do not give up on her. Go on if you can, manage your home as much as you can. I trust that with time, when she sees how well you're taking care of the children and the home, perhaps she would want to have a rethink. To the woman who has said, who is stubborn-headed and saying, I will not put my money in
is our money, my money is my money.
Okay, so Mamuzo, I commend you really for having
a joint account.
A joint account with your husband. The level of trust must be so high, and then you must know your husband so well. You must have that confidence in him that, look, our money is safe with the two of us. You understand what I mean? But for those women who, number one, they have seen that this man, I cannot trust him with our money. You understand what I mean? His money, I cannot trust him with to manage prudently. Why would I want the risk of joining my money with his such that I do not have the rest of mind that my money is safe with him? Except in the case of where the joint account has to bear the two signatures for it to be acknowledged in the bank. Even that one is tricky, you see. If he wants something, I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. If he wants something and he wants it, and you do not see the necessity or the priority in having in him having what he wants, it goes for the woman as well. I'm not saying it's just for the man.
I agree with
There are
you.
some women who just don't know how to run their home on a budget. You know, they just spend on the spur of the moment. It doesn't have to be.
Can I cut in?
Yes,
Which
please.
is why I said at the beginning you must have a financial goal. I mean, you cannot live your life. You were doing that as a single girl, as a single guy. You know, you're married, you have children. You have to be a little more responsible. So you have to plan. Now, I was going to say something because you asked me a question. But before I even go there, let me just say something to you. So, how did it happen between me and my husband? It didn't just happen. We also had our own, you know, challenges.
Back and forth and
even
all of
while
that,
we chose to make that decision. But my husband did something very laudable. He put all the monies in my hands. So I was the manager. And that was how he built trust. So even now, even if he doesn't give me monies, I know how much he earns per time. I know I know what he spends on, and I know what I spend on. Because he set the standard. Somebody has to set the standard. You cannot have, I mean, both of you cannot be heavy spenders at the same time. One has to be a saver, even though the other is a spender. So you have to find what works between both of you, and then find a way to compromise properly, you know, for the furtherance and you know, success of the home. So your question to me is, I mean, how does she find the struggle? Or how does she struggle through, you know, convincing her husband? Is that what you asked me? Okay, so this is it. You don't trust him. Be open about it. Communicate it. Tell him, darling, honey, whatever you called your husband, I have done this in the past. This is what we've been through. Please, I don't want to take this risk anymore. Perhaps, because I believe in marriage. You must learn to keep working at it.
True.
He failed you last year. He might not fail you this year. Give him another chance. But first, be open about it. Express yourself freely.
He knows you are giving him another chance.
Exactly. And then set before him a plan. Men love, I'm telling you, when a man says that, if we save 50,000 naira per month, at the end of the year, we're able to buy a new car, we're able to pay for this, he would also sit up.
True.
You know, but when a man does not see what he needs to spend his money on, he just goes about spending the money just anyhow. So you must tie your money to an expenditure.
Okay, so for a woman, for a home that the husband is financially dependent, it doesn't need the help of the woman. Can the woman, on her own, still at her discretion, her decision, say, look, I would rather do this for the home for this month. Can you accept it?
You see, I would say that this is really subjective. I know a man who got offended because his wife paid his students' fees while he was abroad. He got offended. He said, why didn't you ask me for the money? You just have to find what works for you. It's a relationship. Find what works for you. I'm the kind of woman who's willing to go all out. So I don't mind. Even if my husband is okay, I would love to support him because I feel it's my own way of saying I am committed to this relationship. I'm committed to the love that we share, to the family we are building, and to the journey that we're making. So I'm willing to come all out to give my very best. So it's up to the woman, really.
But seriously, Mamazo, you just, thrown a bit, you thrown a whole lot of light and then giving us a new perspective and, focus on this whole should women contribute. Now we know that the woman's money is also our money, just as the man's money is our money.
If success is your goal.
Yes.
True.
Thank you so much for coming on the Amazons. It's been interesting speaking with you. We'll just go on a quick break now. When we come back, you meet our second guest. Is the Amazons. What we are discussing here is should the woman contribute to the, the budget of running the home after the break.
A woman, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a woman. I'm not a spender. I'm the wonderful organizer, manager, and narrator of the home. Do you understand? So S didn't come in my name. So why would I be the spender? I'm my husband's central bank.
Welcome back to the Amazons, where today we are discussing and asking the question, should the woman contribute to the house running budget? We have another guest joining us, Adetun Larry Adeni. Welcome to the Amazons.
Thank
Adetun, good to see you again.
Same thing.
We say the woman she multitasks, she takes care of, she's the one keeping the family together, she's the one running the home, she's the one making sure everybody is okay, she's the one who the children are dependent on, she's an organizer, and then she manages also to keep a job or run, create a business that she runs. Should we expect the woman to contribute part of her income or the whole of her income in supporting
You said a woman, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a woman. I'm not a spender. I'm the wonderful organizer, manager, and narrator of the home. Do you understand? So S didn't come in my name. So why would I be the spender? I'm my husband's central bank. I'm there to pray. I'm there to cook. His head office, I maintain it, is working. I open the office at any point in time. Do you understand what I'm saying? I take care of the children. I fast and pray for him. So he is the acquirer. Men are acquirers, and when you acquire, you spend. So he should spend. If both of us are spending, when the rainy days come, what happens? So I remain the everlasting savior. I remain the central bank. So my money does not come. But every other support, spiritually, physically, morally, bodily, you got it. Bodily, you have it.
But there are some situations that would run to you to support financially. Maybe in the absence of your husband.
He would have dropped his ATM card. There are so many banks. And I would prefer the ones that I would just, no PIN required.
So are you trying to say that you wouldn't have a joint account with your husband?
Joint?
Yes, please.
No, you can put my name as the benefactor.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I can be.
But your money will not be
next
there.
of kin. Which money am I even making? Which money? I'm there to take care of the children. I'm there to
As a
cook.
career woman, you'll be earning some income now. You'll be working. You have your own
My
money.
salary goes into a fixed deposit, non-touchable. Once they pay
So
direct
what do
debit.
you use your money for?
My money.
Yes.
I'm spending my husband's money.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that's who I am. I'm helping him. And I will not make heaven if I cannot help my husband to spend his
his money.
hard-earned money. No. You should be a supporting woman. You support to spend, not to support to give.
Wow.
Okay, so in case of emergencies, really, in case, you know, where the husband is not able to provide those things
A man should always foresee, plan ahead. You have different accounts. Account for schools, account for everyday expenses in the house. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Vacation.
Account for vacation, account for fuel,
luxurious
account
spend.
for the house. In fact, just give them the name. My wife's housekeep. That's the name of the account. I need PIN number and ATM. Before it expires, just renew. What money am I spending? Because we women, we are the greatest contributor to a home. Okay. We make everything happen. So we can't be making everything happen, and don't change what the Bible says. The man is the head of the family. And Yoruba people will say that you never take the man. By the time you start to spend, you are disrespecting your husband.
But you're also supposed to be the helpmate of your husband.
I'm helping by praying. I'm helping by cooking. I'm helping by making the head office readily available for service. I'm helping to ensure that his children become good graduates and they succeed. And I'm helping to make sure that they are morally disciplined. Financially, they also spend their father's money very well when necessary. I will be there to control, not excess spending. Mommy too has a share. I will be there to monitor the children, because when they know that their father, they can start to plan flamboyant life. No. Just take it easy. Mommy too easy. I need to buy makeup. I need to change my dress.
So why can't you use your money for all
your
those
makeup,
things?
for your
It
hair?
is a sin. You are violating the marital rules. You are violating the marital rules. The man is the head of the family. Take whatever he gives you. By the time you start to spend your money, you are beginning to show your husband that you can do, that you don't need his money. Then that is when we begin to bullshit our husband. No, we shouldn't do that. Let's allow him, be contented with whatever he gives you. And pray for your husband that God should always give him the grace to plan ahead. And pray that no door of success should shut against him. That is all you need.
Amen.
No, Adeto, no, I'm just trying to catch up with you, with your line of thoughts and what you're saying now. What in the case of where this man, who was the head of the family, who has been so willing to provide, is now, is now also
an African woman, a Nigerian woman, a Christian woman, my God never fails. The door of failure or emergency will never open.
How do you help your husband to plan his spending, just so that the children also can have enough, that there will be no raining day, that there will be no days where he cannot afford, he cannot have those things that the family needs. Your excesses too as a wife, because I see you talking about how you will help him spend the money. You have not said anything about how you will help him save the money.
We plan. I want an opportunity where I want to have a relationship where we have open communication. We don't hide anything from each other. Whatever business you're doing, let's look at it and how to make the best out of it. And when the business, the money flows in, wifey, this is what we make. Okay, this is what you have. Let's keep this. And the truth of the matter is, if you live within your family's budget, you live within your family's means, you don't go to look at extravagant lives, buying ashwebi, using unnecessary makeup. For me as a person, I use the olden days fashion style. Do you understand? Which is one layer of powder. There's no need for 3 or 4. It will be too expensive. I'm not a collector. I use what I need at a point in time. So I cut my lifestyle in moderation. I don't need too much of makeup. As a matter of fact, this hair is only for today. Underneath is my Didi. It only costs me, not because I don't like the extravagant life, but because I know that this money is coming from just one source. So I cannot afford to do what is not necessary.
So when the family needs to go on vacation, the man buys the ticket, the man gives you spending money for yourself, he gives spending money for the children.
At what time
At what point do you spend your money and also invest in the children?
My children get investment from their father. Their father is already, you see, now, for my children, we don't go to extravagant schools. We have, if school fees is 500,000, we will look for a school of 100,000 and save the 400,000 for their future education. We are not spending all the money into today's education. 5 years education, we already have the money there. So we want to put our family on auto run. It has to be on auto run, not every day. What my husband is making in January, he might not be making the same by June. Business can be dull. But when you sit down at the beginning of the year and you already plan your finances, whatever comes in as extra. So plan your family style, your family life on low budget. So even if there is excesses, that excesses goes into the savings for the raining days when you will also be able to go back. Don't you know that these raining days that you're talking about, if it now gets to that situation, you know men with their ego. They are the ones that have always been buying, spending, buying cars. No man will want to feel that there is a woman that is feeding me now. Some men can even go into depression, and before you know it, they get frustrated, and before you know it, they die. So women should even keep their money, because this money is even always causing arrogance and being boastful in marriages. That's the thing.
Interesting school of thought there.
So
Interesting point of
you also
view.
mentioned that when the rainy day comes, when that rainy day comes, who do you fall? I mean, where does the house budget now
That is
fall
why
to?
we have some first generation banks where the monies are there. We will now go back there. And don't forget, those monies are kept not in just a savings account. We've put them in fixed deposit. We're also making percentage of income, interest on those monies. We have 30 days, we have 90 days, we have 120, we have 1 year, we have 5 years. And we also have future accounts for children these days, where you keep saving money for a certain period of time, and automatically, after certain years, we women will just need to be smart. Spending money in a home does not make you smart. Keep this money. It's your money. Your money. Spend daddy's money. You see, and the irony of it is, this men, you can never understand the man 100%. And you can never, no matter how your husband tells you he loves you, they have inner mind. Some of them keep this money in this bank. Look at all this first generation bank. Most of the monies that are there, that's why they can't collapse. They are monies of the dead. Monies that somebody's husband did not even open up, that have been keeping this money. And when they die, no documents to show for it. So let's gotta spend the money.
This is a new, it's a new
Line of thought.
A new line of thought.
True.
Because you're making so much sense, and yet I'm trying to understand the sense in the whole sense that you are making. Do you understand? So are you saying finally that no woman should support the husband, should support the home in any way financially to contribute to the home running?
You see, number one, let's even ask ourselves, what is the meaning of marriage? Is it not legal slavery? You are a slave to a woman to take care of all her responsibilities. It's legal slavery. So let's practice the law of legal slavery to the books. What are you spending? Where is the money? Where did you even get it from? You are only going outside for people to see that, okay, you went to school, your parents sent you to school, you are exercising your academic performance, excellence, intelligence, and all of that, and they are paying you something to eat. Nobody is paying any woman money, even if you are any more than your husband. Keep the money in a savings account. It's your money.
Adeton, thank you so much for coming on Amazon.
So much.
What we have said here today, it still really boils down to what works for the family.
Sure.
It really boils down to what works for you as a woman and as a man. It boils down to what works for you as a couple. It boils down to what works for you as a family. Negotiation, discuss. It doesn't have to happen during marriage, because all these things you are saying, maybe you had discussed it with your husband when people were courting, and it was agreed that this is what it should be.
And it's even in some people's culture. Igbo men, for example, they don't allow their women to spend. Igbo men don't do it. That is why everything, maybe like in my own field of work, I've seen a lot of people that when they want to buy something, the next thing they tell you, okay, madam, I will get back to you. Let me talk to my husband about it. I'm going to get the money. A lot of Igbo people still have their fear. They don't make any money. It is their husband that still give them money. Even the money they will give to their family members, it is their husband that take. It is just some part of we Nigerians that feel that it's just being boastful. Don't spend that money. Keep it.
Oh, wow.
This is where we draw the curtain. The conversation continues on our
social media handles. There's no one size fits all when it comes to, this practice on how to contribute to the running of the budget of your home. Just tweak it to what suits you best, and, to each its own. Whatever works for you, whatever rocks your boat. And on this note, We'll say have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. My name is Liani Moni, and
Have a very good evening. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.